Hey y'all. I thought I'd jump on here for a few minutes and talk about dahlias. I've never really been too big into dahlias. My dad and aunts and uncles and different people used to grow them, and I thought they were very pretty, but they had to get out there and stake them up and trellis them or some way keep them from flopping over and all that. They just seemed like a lot more trouble to me than they were worth. And so I was one of those people who was like, never going to grow dahlias. I just kind of steered clear of dahlias. But I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, I was at Walmart and they had clearanced some of their spring bulbs. And I thought, they didn't really have a big variety to choose from, but they had several and they were such a good deal. I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to try just a couple packs of dahlias. If I don't like them and I don't want to mess with it, it's not going to be that big of a deal, especially if it's just, 4 or 5 little plants. I think there was like two little sets of tubers in each pack. It wasn't that big of a deal. But what I've discovered is I really do enjoy the dahlias. Now, I'm not planning to do no big dahlia bed or, dedicate a big area to growing dahlias. I'm not into them that way. While I think they're really pretty, I want to be able to enjoy them without them being a lot of work. And so, just having a few varieties and scattering them out here and there and, in different flower beds or just dedicating just one little bitty area to, planting a few. I believe they really are worth that because you get such a beautiful bloom and thought I got fire ant bit. But they have such a beautiful bloom that they really are worth growing. Like I said, even if it's just a couple. And so here I'm going to show y'all a few that I'm growing. Y'all look at this dahlia. This dahlia is so pretty. I cannot remember the name of it. If I can find the name, I'll put it up on the screen. But after we've had, we were in a drought for weeks, and now we've had rain for days. And this is the first day that I've actually been able to get outside and really look at things. And the dahlias really enjoyed that little bit of cooler weather because it was also much cooler during those few days. And this dahlia is so pretty. I'm going to show y'all a few more uh, to show y'all how good they look this time, after having cooler temps and more rain. This is another one that's so pretty. I love the color. It's like a coral and a pink combined. I love it, and it's a prolific bloomer. It actually has stayed covered in blooms most of the summer, but now that we're having some cooler temps and having some rain, it's really going to be pretty. It's just covered in buds. And this is a different variety. It's one of the ones that was started from seed. And just look how pretty that is. It's also covered in buds. But I think it's been covered in blooms most of the summer, but it's really fixing to have an explosion of color. And I love this one. It comes back every year for me. And it's not as tall as some of the other ones, but it's so pretty. And here's another one. This one's beautiful. It's white. It has just a hint of like a little bit of a different color on some of the tips, but it's so pretty. It's another one that's also budding all over. I cannot wait to see it covered with all of these flowers, and these are big flowers. And look at this one. Oh my word. This one is so big. Look at that. And I have a big hand, so it's beautiful. It's starting to bud up all over too. I am excited to see this one, and this is what it looks like as it's starting to open. It's so pretty. If you've never grown dahlias, you really need to try them if you're able to grow them in your growing zone. They are so worth it. And here's a tiny little yellow one. It's also very pretty. The dahlias are really putting on a show since we've had the cooler weather and some rain. I'm going to be moving these also this fall. All of the dahlias that are here in front of the greenhouse, they're getting moved to a different area where they can have a little bit more water. Dahlias don't like a lot of water. They don't like standing in water. But I think this area, because it's just so hot, they're not really that pretty. They're pretty in the spring, and then they're really pretty. They're the prettiest out of all in the this time of year, in the late fall, early to late fall, I mean. And so they're getting moved to where it's going to be a little cooler. Right here is probably one of the hottest parts of my yard, and they just don't like it. Most of the summer, they're just not that pretty. And this is a different one. It's also a tiny one. But you can see the leaves, even though it's yellow, the leaves are different. They're more desert-like, the shape of them. And this one's a little lighter color yellow than the other one. Very pretty. And here's another one. It kind of takes on two of the colors of some of the ones you've just saw. It has the kind of peachy, corally at the end with the yellow in the center. It's really pretty too. And it's just now really starting to bloom. I think this is the first flower that I've seen on this one all season. But it's starting to get quite a few buds, so this one's fixing to put on a good show for us too. And this is the last dahlia that I'm going to be showing, because it's all the colors that I have that are blooming right now. This one is also really pretty. It doesn't have as big of a flower as some of the other ones, and it's a shorter dahlia. It's nowhere near as tall as some of the other ones we just saw, but nevertheless it's still beautiful. The purple is so pretty on this one. It almost, when it's opening up, has hints of blue around the edges before it opens up to be purple. But this is one of the ones that I really like. Even though it's a dwarf one, or I'm going to say it's dwarf, it's not really dwarf. It gets probably around 3 foot tall. But it just has much smaller flowers than some of the other ones. And it's one of the ones that I think would make a great mid-border plant if you were, mixing in dahlias in with your other types of plants, in your flower beds. I just thought I'd do a quick little video on some of the dahlias that are blooming. And I would like to also say, if you can give your dahlias, while they love full sun, if you can give your dahlias a little bit of a break from the harsh afternoon sun, they will reward you for that with beautiful blooms. Which is why these will be getting moved after, this cool down has happened. And so, until next time, bye.